It's great that we can all be here today because I know it feels like you just want to do something that's helpful. And this is something tangible that we can do that's helpful. And it's helpful for ourselves, right? But it's also helpful for Rachel's family. So knowing that Rachel taught and lived from the heart, I decided to prepare a class that sort of honors that. And so we'll be focusing on our own hearts. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't also talk about the physical heart. Right? So your physical heart lives just kind of in the left side of your chest. And it's three-dimensional, right? It takes up physical space, pumps blood everywhere through your body to all 37.2 trillion cells of your person, which is pretty amazing. So there are tubes that go directly from that heart muscle to 37.2 trillion cells. It's like it's inconceivable, it's mind-boggling, right? And then you also have your energetic heart, which is housed right in the center of the chest. And that's where our compassion and our empathy and our love resides. And that's also mind-bogglingly large, our capacity to love and to care and to show compassion and empathy. And developing compassion is really central to the practice of yoga. And the more we can hone our sense of compassion, the more we can be a source of light and strength for others. So with that in mind, I'm not going to get through this without crying.
Nope.
I'll just say this about compassion as well. So the meaning of the word I really love because it means to love together, right? And that's what we're here to do. We're here to love each other through this. So let's start by taking the right hand and place it on your heart, which is just to the left of the center of your chest. And place your left hand on top of that. Make sure that you're in a comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall. And see if you can tune in to just the sensation of your heart beating inside your chest. And notice how many beats your inhalation takes and how many beats your exhalation takes. And there's nothing you need to fix or change about that, just observe. We're going to practice moving from our hearts today. And when we move from our hearts rather than from our heads, it's not about alignment. It's not about trying to achieve perfection of some shape. It's about going by feel. And so to that end, I'll just invite you to move through our practice today with eyes closed. And just allow yourself to feel your way through it. Let's complete this with an exhalation. And then take your arms and sweep them out to the sides with the palms up. And just like you're doing a seated version of cow pose, draw your heart up and take your chest forward. And as you exhale, sweep your arms forward, bringing your fingertips together in front of you, rounding your back, like you're in a cat pose, like you're giving a giant air hug to someone. You breathe in, sweep your arms back, palms facing up, lift your chest. And exhale, let your back round, fingertips come together. And just keep moving with your breath. So as you breathe in, you lift your heart. And on your exhalation, as you round, think about opening up the back of the heart. It's like you're spreading those back ribs open. Getting into the cobwebs in the back of the heart. It's like you open the blinds and let the sun shine in. And after you round your back this next time, place your fingertips on the ground right next to your hips. And as you breathe in, sweep your right arm up and over and come into a side bend over to your left. And exhale, bring that hand back down to the ground. Inhale, sweep your left arm up and come into a side bend over to your right. And exhale, your hand back to the ground. And keep moving with your breath. And make your way back to center. And either lace your hands up and just rest them on top of your head, or if that's not comfortable, you can cross your arms over your chest and hold onto your shoulders, whatever works best for you. And as you exhale, turn to your right, and inhale, come back to the center. So you're just doing a little twist here. Exhale, turn to the right again, and inhale back to the center. And we'll keep going to the right, so let yourself be led by your chest, by your heart. Just allow your head and your arms to go along for the ride. As you come back to the center, take a pause. If your legs have been crossed the same way the whole time, you could cross them the other way. You could lace your hands up the other way, so the opposite fingers on the outside. And as you exhale, turn your ribs to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn left. Inhale, center. And as you come back to the center this next time, take a pause, release your hands. Come onto all fours, facing forward. And just sit back on your heels in a child's pose. And if child's pose doesn't work for your knees, you can lie flat out on your belly with your legs stretched out behind you. Let the center of your forehead settle into the ground. Let your head be heavy. Let it rest. Put your breath in the back of your heart, into the space between your shoulder blades. And slowly make your way up onto all fours. And from all fours, slip your right arm under your left and come down onto your right shoulder and the right side of your head, threading the needle. And just leave your left hand on the ground, sort of beside your face with your left elbow pointing up. And as you press down into the ground with your left hand, roll your left shoulder back, like you're trying to roll your upper back up against a vertical wall. And again, breathe into that space between your shoulder blades. Take another breath there, come up onto all fours. Slip your left arm underneath your right, lower your left shoulder to the ground. And roll your right shoulder back. Imagine spreading the shoulder blades apart so that your upper back feels even broader. And just breathe into that space. Slowly make your way back up onto all fours. Have your lower body stay in tabletop here, so your hips stay on top of your knees, and your upper body is going to do downward facing dog. Walk your arms forward in a puppy position. If your forehead can rest on the ground, you can rest your forehead on the ground here. Press your palms down into the ground and attempt to draw your shoulder blades away from each other, broadening your upper back. And at the same time, let your chest, the front wall of your chest, sink towards the floor. Take another breath here. Press yourself back up into tabletop. Stretch your legs out behind you one at a time and come into a plank. And as you exhale, shift back into a downward facing dog, raising your hips into the air. As you inhale, rock forward into plank position. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward to plank. And keep shifting back and forth with your breath. As you press back into down dog this next time, pause there. Start walking your feet toward your hands. And place your hands on your shins or on your thighs. As you breathe in, come into a flat back. Pull your heart forward. And as you exhale, let your knees bend softly. Take your chest in towards your legs. You can allow your back to round a little here. Breathe in. Come into a flat back and draw your heart forward. As you exhale, your chest comes back into your legs, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale all the way up, circling your arms up. And on your exhalation here, draw your hands down to your heart. And take a moment here in Tadasana to get yourself oriented so that it feels like your heart is sitting right over the center of your pelvis. And the middle of your brain is sitting centered right over your heart. And as you breathe in, sweep your arms back up and grab hold of your right wrist at the top. And take an exhalation and side bend to your left. Good. We'll hold there. So root down into the ground with your right foot and gently pull up on your right wrist. And feel your right side ribs fan open. It's like you're breathing into the right side of your heart. On an in-breath, come back up and switch wrists. Grip your left wrist with your right hand and take a fold over to your right. Opening up the left side of your chest. Slowly make your way back up to center here. Release your hands and bring your hands around to the back of your waist. Squeeze your shoulder blades and your elbows towards each other. And lift your chest up. Gently squeeze your shoulder blades and your elbows towards each other behind your back. Right, shining your heart forward. And on an exhalation here, slide your hands down the backs of your legs and come into a forward fold. Stretch your right leg back and come into a lunge. Just take a moment here to feel your length from your back heel through to the top of your head. And then slowly lower your back knee down to the ground. Sweep your arms up, coming into Anjaneyasana. If you like, you could lace your hands up and press your palms up to the sky. Good. Lifting up through your chest. On an exhalation, bring your hands back down to the ground. Breathe in, come back into lunge pose. And exhale, step back into a downward facing dog. From here, bring your knees down to the ground and sit back on your heels in a child's pose. Breathe into the back of your heart. Reach your arms for the top of your mat. And as you breathe in, come into a modified plank. Your shoulders over your wrists, your knees on the ground. And on an exhalation, slowly lower yourself all the way down. And we'll come up into a low cobra. As you breathe in, peel your chest and your head away from the ground. And on your next exhalation, push yourself back into a child's pose. Allow your forehead to rest. Make your way back up onto all fours and into a downward facing dog. And take your gaze forward between your hands and start to walk your feet there. As you exhale, fold your chest in towards your legs. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. And on your exhalation, bring your hands down to your heart. And again, take a moment to orient yourself so that your heart is sitting right over the center of your pelvis. And your brain is resting right over your heart. And take a big breath in, sweep your arms back up and grab hold of your left wrist. And exhale over to your right. Breathe into your left side ribs. Good. Find your way back upright and grab hold of your right wrist. Fold over to your left. And breathe into your right side ribs. And find your way back up to the center. Release your hands, bring them to the back of your waist. And breathing in, lift your chest, squeeze your elbows and shoulder blades towards each other. On an exhalation here, fold forward, sliding your hands down the backs of your legs. And as you breathe in, stretch your left leg back, coming into a lunge. On your exhalation, bring your back knee to the ground. And go ahead and raise your arms up, coming into Anjaneyasana. So your palms might face each other here, or you might lace your hands together and press your palms upwards. We'll take another breath here. As you exhale, bring your hands back down to the ground. And inhale, come back into a lunge. Exhale, step back into a downward facing dog. From your down dog, bring your knees back down onto your mat and sit back on your heels in child's pose. Forehead heavy and the back of your heart open. Reach your arms for the top of your mat. Make your way into a modified plank on your hands and knees. And as you exhale, lower yourself slowly down. Inhale, roll your shoulders back and just peel your chest and head away from the ground. Right, so no strain, no tension. Gentle low cobra. From here, push yourself back into child's pose. Sit back on your heels. And find your way up onto all fours again. Tuck your toes under and come into downward facing dog. As you're here in down dog, just as you inhale, picture the breath entering through the front of your heart and exiting through the back of your heart. And exhale from the back door of your heart through the front door. Breathing in front to back. Breathing out back to front. And start to walk your feet toward your hands. As you breathe in, come into a flat back, pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold down onto your thighs. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. And from here, just step your feet about your mats width apart, lining up the outer edges of your feet with the edges of your mat. Place your hands on your hips. And sweep your right arm up and over and come into a side bend to your left. Focus on really opening up your right side. Root your right foot down. Lengthen out through your right fingertips. And bring your right hand back down to your hip. And we'll switch sides. Bring your left arm up and over, folding to your right. And try to reach down into the earth with your left foot. Reach out through your left fingertips. And bring the arm back down by your side. And lace your hands together behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other, broadening your chest out. Bend your knees and fold your belly down in between your thighs. Arms lift up into the air behind your back. You might straighten your legs out here if that feels appropriate, or you can keep your knees bent. And aim your breath into the front of your chest. Take one more breath here. Release your hands. Unroll your spine nice and slow to come all the way back up into standing. Good. And then step your feet together. And reset yourself, heart over pelvis, head over heart. Turn your right foot out to the side in preparation for tree pose. And if you're doing this with your eyes closed, you might want to keep your right toes on the floor and just put your heel against your leg. If your balance feels really good and you feel windproof, you could take your right foot up your left inner thigh. And if a change in arm position feels appropriate, go ahead and sweep your arms up. And again, the palms can turn in and face each other. You could close your palms right up at your midline and have them touch. We'll take another breath there. And bring your hands back together in front of your chest in prayer. Step back onto both feet and we'll switch sides. Turn your left foot out. And choose a position for your left foot somewhere on your right leg. Feel free to take your arms up or keep your hands together in prayer in front of your chest. And you can feel yourself sway, feel yourself catching yourself from falling. And slowly bring your hands back down to your heart and step back onto both feet. Take a big breath in and sweep your arms up. And on your exhalation here, fold forward, place your hands on the ground. Let's step back into downward facing dog again. And from your down dog, bring your right foot forward to come into a lunge. And plant your back foot flat on the ground. Okay, make sure that you feel well balanced. And then slowly bring your arms up to come into a warrior one. Good, lifting up through the front of your heart. Take your hands and lace them together behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And start to fold your torso to the inside of your front leg in a humble warrior, nice and slow. Allow your back to round and the top of your head to drop towards the floor.
And then gently release your arms, sweep them forward and up, coming back into your warrior one. And then nice and slow, bring your hands back down to the ground and find your way into a lunge. Right, so when you don't have your eyes to help, when you're going by feel, you need to go slow. And step back into your downward facing dog again. Step your left foot forward in between your hands. And flatten your back foot out. When you feel stable and balanced, make your way back up into your warrior one, sweeping your arms up, lift your heart up. If it feels appropriate, you could even lift your head and send your gaze up. Lower your arms and take your hands and lace them up behind your back, and you can do it the weird way this time. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, broaden your chest out, and fold to the inside of your front leg. Humble warrior. Let's have another moment here. And unclasp your hands and slowly sweep your arms back up into a warrior one. Bring your hands back to the ground in a lunge pose. And step back into downward facing dog. Again, as you breathe in, picture your breath moving through your heart from front to back as you inhale, and from back to front as you exhale. Bring your knees back down onto your mat for child's pose. Sit back on your heels. And then place your hands on the ground beside your knees and press your torso upright. And from here, we'll swing our legs out in front of us. Bend your knees and put the soles of your feet on your mat. And then walk your hands around behind you so your fingers are pointed away from you. And walk the pinky finger sides of your hands as close to one another as you can comfortably get them to go. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other and lift up through your chest. Just take a big breath in, and as you breathe in, fill up from your belly into your chest. You can hold there at the top of your breath and feel your heart expanding with your inhalation. And whenever you feel ready to let the breath go, just let it go. As you breathe in, fill up from your belly up into your chest and feel your heart swell at the top of your breath. Let's complete one more breath there. And straighten your legs out in front of you and bring your hands down by your sides. You can take your legs apart so they're in a V shape. And bend your right leg, bring your right foot towards your left inner thigh. And then bring your left hand over to your bent knee and take a little twist. Raise your right arm into the air. And take a big breath in here, reaching your fingertips up to the sky. And as you exhale, side bend over to your left. And here you can roll your right ribs down towards the ground a little and just notice how that feels. You could roll your right ribs back and notice how that feels, and just choose a position to put your ribs in that gives you a line of pull that feels really satisfying and pleasurable for you. And bring the arm back down by your side and come on up. Straighten your legs out. Other side, bend your left leg and bring the sole of your foot to your inner thigh. Place your right hand on your bent knee and take a little twist. Raise your left arm. Big breath in here. And as you breathe out, side bend over your straight leg. And then you can play here with rolling your chest down towards the floor or rolling it up towards the sky. Just choose a position that feels good for you. And take a big breath in, come all the way back up. Straighten both legs out here. And you can zip your legs back together and bend them both. And we'll set up for bound angle pose. So drop your knees out to the sides and bring the soles of your feet together so your legs make a diamond shape. And your heels can be really close to your groins or they can be far away. And from here we'll take a forward fold, and you can bring your forehead down onto your hands or onto your feet. If you have a block, you might want to pile up a block or two and rest your forehead on that. And again, place your breath in the space between your shoulder blades. Feel that expanding as you breathe in. And softening as you breathe out. And nice and slow, make your way back up. And we'll find our way all the way down onto our backs for Shavasana. Just choose any position that feels comfortable for you. Bless you. And connect with your breath. As you breathe in, recognize that you're breathing in. As you breathe out, recognize that you're breathing out. You might also sense your heart beating here.
And notice the intertwined rhythms of your breath and your heart. And we're going to conclude with a metta meditation, a loving kindness meditation. If you'd like to do that, lying in Shavasana, you're welcome to stay right where you are. If you'd prefer to sit up, then go ahead and sit up and find your way into a comfortable seat. We'll start by giving metta to ourselves before we extend it outward to others. So I'll recite the metta phrases and you can mentally recite them to yourself after me. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I know my heart's true joy. Next, we'll send metta to everyone here and everyone watching at home. May we be safe. May we be peaceful. May we be happy. May we be healthy. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we know our heart's true joy. And we'll make our circle a little bigger and expand that out to everyone here in the Niagara region. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know your heart's true joy.
Next, we'll extend metta to everyone in our country. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know your heart's true joy. Sending metta to everyone in the world. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know your heart's true joy. And sending metta to all beings everywhere. May you be safe. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May you know your heart's true joy. Feel free to stay here sitting in the energy of metta for as long as you like. Thank you so much for being here today to share your practice.